Hey, it is Heather Godesco. We are here with a Sweat University Flow Fusion class. So let's start up. Standing nice and tall, pull that tummy in, roll those shoulders up and back. Close those eyes. And then roll those shoulders forward. Good, and then press these shoulders up to the ears and press them all the way down. Good, we're gonna turn that head side to side. Pull that tummy in. Good, and then lift that chin up and down. Good, and hold that head center. And let's just go into either semicircles or full circles. Good, and take it center with that head. Let's just focus on that breath, inhaling, opening, and expanding those lungs. And exhaling. Inhale. Try to lengthen out that breath as long as you can. Exhale, pushing all of that air out of the lungs. Closing those eyes, helping to center our thoughts on our breath. As you breathe, try not to lift through rib cage. Try to expand through the rib cage. Exhaling. Good. As we focus a little bit longer on our breath, also want you to focus on the ribs and the hips connection. So if I turn to the side, you see I'm pulled in nice and tight. I'm not letting this block tilt or the ribs pop. I want to have that locked and loaded, and my chin is lifted. So that's a nice, strong Pilates posture. We're going to try to maintain that throughout the class. As we inhale, let's raise the arms up. Exhale, bring it down through the heart. Good. Let's continue doing that. As you raise your arms up, keep your shoulders down. And exhale. Holding it up there. Take those shoulders up. So this would be the wrong way. Exhale, pull the shoulders down. Feel the length of the neck. Keep those arms reaching towards each other. Just a little press to the side. And then a little press to the other side. And then center, hold it here. We're gonna sweep these arms down, squat, and lift. Inhale and exhale. If you wanna add a little releve, raise up on those tippy toes, you don't have to. Press up and down. Awesome job. Last one. See if you can balance on those toes or just stand up and lengthening to the ceiling. Woo. And release those arms down. Good. From here, we're going to do a roll down. So the top of my head is going to roll towards the floor. My tummy is pulled in. This is our Pilates C curve. And then I round it back up, inhaling and exhaling. Good, I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see that if you need to. Inhale, my tummy pulls in, and I'm rounded like an upside down letter U right now. And round it up. This should feel good on that spine. Good, again, inhale. If you're dealing with super tight hamstrings, slight bend in the knees like this. Okay, if not, you can keep them straight and then round it up, stack those vertebrae. Good, awesome job. Shoulders back and down. Sweep those arms up into a chair pose. Inhaling and exhaling. These arms are framing the ears. If that's a little bit too hard for you, reach those arms out in front. Tummy is pulled in. Remember that hip and rib posture. So we don't want to be arched or rounded. We want to have nice long through the spine. Inhale and exhale. Hold on to this just a few moments longer. And raise it up. Good. Open up these arms. Good. Let's step those feet a little wider. Maybe on a little angle if that feels better. Reach those arms out. And we're just going to reach over and center. Inhale and exhale. Just nice fluid movement here. Two more. Good. Holding it out center, just great. Some great big inhales. Exhales. Full body movement. Wake up that mind. Wake up that body. Wake up that soul. Two more. Last one. Hold it up there. Open it up again. Good job, girls. Let's shake it out. So you're gonna face your mat. You're gonna face, actually, you're not gonna face it. You're gonna have the mat behind you, okay? So let's stand up nice and tall. Hips and ribs locked and loaded. Close those eyes. Focus just on that breath for a moment. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, great big inhale. I want you to hold it at the top. I want you to open up the rib cage so your heart is shining to the sky. Good, from here, start to open those arms. Keep that heart lifted as long as you can. And then let it come down. And now you're in that forward fold. Again, tight hammies, you may need to bend those knees. Now round it up Pilates style, one vertebrae at a time. Great inhale, raise it up. Allow that heart to open. Exhale, fold down. Round it on up. Good. So if you want to move faster than me, you can. Stay right with me. We're just going to continue that a few more times. Keep that breath fluid. Last time, inhale. Exhale, I want you to hold it at the bottom. Really try to draw that heart closer to the legs. Good, you're gonna step one foot back and then the other so that you're in a nice plank position. Belly button is pulled in, shoulder blades are back and down. Breathe, inhaling and exhaling. If this posture is too hard, you drop to your knees. Okay, what we want to avoid, watch my hips is this, and watch my shoulders this. Okay, so I want to be strong through my shoulders and strong through my hips, whether or not I'm modifying or in full plank. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. We're going to slowly bend our elbows right next to our rib cage to lower all the way to the floor. We're going to open up through that heart. Release it down. Not going for a super big lift here. Keep those hips on the floor. Pressing into those arms, opening up that heart. Last time, open it up. Good. Press those hips back, find that child's pose. Ooh, good. Holding it there. Let's sneak one arm under, going into a stretch. Good. Palm is facing the ceiling here, settling in. And then switch sides. Palm faces up. Breathe into any stretch that we do. You never want to hold your breath. Keep it fluid. Good, and then reach those arms back out. We're going to tuck these toes in, and we're going to press those hips up. If this is not for you just yet, you stay in that child's pose, the pose we just came from. If you're here, we don't want to have weight evenly distributed. So if you look at my body, right now I have it in the center. I actually want to take my body weight and push it back towards my heels, pressing my heart towards my toes. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, let's pedal through those balls of the feet. Get a nice stretch into all those toe joints, also through the back of that Achilles. Good. Focus is on the stretching, the lengthening, and strengthening of the body today. Good. And both heels down. We're just going to slowly walk those hands towards the feet, feet towards the hands, whichever way. Bring that heart closer to those legs again. Round it up Pilates style. Stand up nice and tall. Sweep out into chair pose. Whoa, lost my balance. Holding it here. Arms to heart. Good. Without wiggling these hips, we're going to keep the hips center. We're going to twist to one side and center. Twist and center. Twist and center. Two more. One more each side. Holding in center, reach those arms either up in this posture or in front. Raise all the way up. Open it. One big shoulder roll. Inhale, exhale, place it down. Great big inhale. Open up that heart. Forward fold, release down. Good. Step back, one foot, then the other. Find that plank. Holding it here. This time, walking your hands out a little wider. Turning your fingertips kind of towards each other so the hands make a diagonal angle. Again, modification is on the knees. We're going to do a few push-ups here. Yay! We're going to inhale as we go down, exhale as we come up. Here we go. Inhale, elbows out to the side. Exhale, press. Inhale. Exhale, press. Remember, you can be on the knees. Inhale. Exhale, press. Lower all the way down. Good. Go ahead and reach these arms and legs out to an X position. Head is down on the floor. Good. In this letter X, see if you can just lift a teensy bit off the floor. And then release down. So we're not looking for a big lift. We want to forget about the word lift, and we want to think lengthen. So we're lengthening each part of our body, 2 arms, 2 legs to the opposite corners of the room. Like we're trying to reach out and touch. Use that breath. Hold that letter X. Feel like somebody just grabbed your ankles and your wrists and they're pulling you longer. And then release down. Good. Bring feet together. Bring those hands underneath your shoulders. Press back, child's pose. Good. From here, tuck those toes under. Find that down doggy. For anyone that's not quite ready for that posture, remember you can also come into an all-fours posture or the child's pose. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Go ahead and pedal those feet again. Good. And find your center. You're going to take your right leg up. Again, if you are on your knee, it's going to look like this. Leg up. And then everybody's going to swing that knee in, round through your back. So you might be in plank position here, or you might be on your knee like me. Now I'll show you that in the plank. Here it is. In and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last time. Inhale and exhale. This time everybody's going to bring that foot through. Okay, you might have to do a little more shimmying or shaking to get it there, but you have 2 options. options here as well. You can be on that back knee, okay, here, and we're trying to get both hands on either side of the foot, or you're here. In both cases, your tummy is lifted up against the backbone. You have that strong Pilates posture through the core. Inhale and exhale. Good, so remember the option is here. We're gonna raise the arms up over our head. So this is option number one. Option number two is to have that back leg lifted. Air is definitely not working. Hold it here. Girls that are up on the leg with me, I want you to really pull up on that kneecap. Everyone is pulling in with that core, shoulders back. Arms are out into a big V, feeling the energy pouring into your heart and soul. Good, bring those arms to your heart. Woo, we're gonna twist into that knee. Okay, so again, I'm gonna show you that modified version. You might be here. Everyone can stay here, or you can lean into it and come into this little bind. Again, this is your option as well. Shoulders down. Inhale and exhale. And go ahead and take it center. Engage that core. Reach up. And then down. Good. From here, let's press back. Everyone on the knee. Getting a little deeper stretch into that hamstring. Try to keep that heart lifted and then round through that head. Woo! Good, now bend into that knee, press through that back hip flexor. So I'm pressing this thigh forward. Okay, I can stay low or I can raise up. Good, I'm gonna open my body to the side where my leg is at. Just trying to turn my heart all the way back. And then up, and now I'm gonna spine twist the other way. Ooh, can't get as far on this side. And then up, release down. From here, we're gonna sneak this leg halfway back, and we're gonna tuck it under, and we're gonna find one of my favorite positions in the world. Pigeon pose. Great for those hips to stretch. You can stay here or you can come down. Okay? So go ahead and rest there. If you're a little confused, I'm going to turn and face you. Okay, so my leg is bent in. I'm trying not to be off to the side. I have my hips facing you. Okay? So you're holding that. You can come lower. Remember, on this, you are breathing, you are inhaling, and you are exhaling. Okay, so they're right underneath your shoulder blades, or your shoulders. You can be on your knees. We're gonna go down for some tricep push-ups this time. So if you're not ready, you're gonna rest into that child's pose. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, press. Modification is on the knees. Inhale, exhale, press. Last one, inhale, exhale, press. We're gonna lower all the way down. Good, we're gonna open up through that heart. Maybe lifting a little higher, off, and then bringing it down. Inhale, up, and down. And up, hold it up there. Press back to that child's pose. Tuck those toes under, press those hips up. Finding yourself in down dog, or remember the option, all fours, right? In either case, that tummy is pulled in. You're going to extend that left leg up to the ceiling this time. Round that back, pull that knee in, straighten. Exhale, press. Inhale, round. Exhale, press. Inhale, round. Exhale, press. Step all the way through. Again, finding where you need to go. Maybe on the knee, maybe pulled up. So some of you want to stay down. Others can come on up, engage your core, lift and hold. Pull that tummy in, shoulders back. Bring arms to heart. Again, you can stay right here if you want to add the twist towards the bent knee overhead. And then maybe even lean into it. Again, modification at that knee bend. Where you're up here, really driving that kneecap towards your hip. Try to keep those shoulders pressed away from your ears. Raise it up, let her be. And releasing down. Woo, pressing into that front leg, stretching it, or into the back leg to stretch the front. Keep that heart lifted and press. Really feeling those hammies stretch. Good, and then move it forward. Press into that hip flexor. So you have to take this booty and push it down towards the floor. So we're getting the front of that hip. So you can stay here. You can raise up, engage that core. Turn to the open side of your body. Good. Raise it up. See what you got on the other side. And center. And bring it down. So this is where we lift up just a little bit so we can sneak this leg through. Sometimes we need to help it. Press it back. Okay, so again, we don't want to be off onto the side booty cheek. We want to be centered, our hips. And you go where you need to go. Maybe you're not going to come down at all. You can also stack these fists and put your head on top. Bending into these knees, pressing into child's pose. And bring these hands underneath you. And we are going to sweep our legs around to the front. So I want you to move up onto your mat. And I'm going to bring you guys down to the floor so you can see me down there a little bit better. So we are going to go into some more Pilates-based movements. Okay. And we're going to start with rolling like a ball. How fun. Okay. So from here, I want you to find that nice tall back. You're on those two bones of your butt. From there, you're going to scoop under. And now the bones are pressing upwards. And you're gonna see if you can balance. Okay, so balancing here or balancing here with the arms inside. What we don't wanna do is let the shoulders hold for us, okay? We wanna engage the core. And then when you're ready, you're gonna inhale and exhale. And it always looks easier than it is. Exhale. Use that strong breath. If you're getting stuck at the bottom, you are probably coming here and you're flattening your back. And it's really hard to roll on a flat tire, right? So when you roll back, girls, you have to shine your cooter bone up to the ceiling and down. Good. And let's go ahead and shake. And now that we're seated, let's extend those legs out. So from here, we're gonna go into that same C curve. Arms out, and it's like somebody just punched you in the gut. So you're rounding through that back, reaching that head out. Good, and then come back up one vertebra at a time. Go ahead and reach back out. And up. Good, reach back out. Holding it there. One vertebra at a time, rolls down. Inhaling and exhaling. And in and exhale. So if you are struggling with that, which probably you are if you've never done that, you're going to bend into your knees. You're going to give yourself a little bit of help. Coming down, arms reaching up and out, and then rounding that head, exhaling it up center. Good. Use that strong inhale, and then use that exhale as you move through that low back. Good, and let's go ahead and hold it down there. And I want you to really reach, feel your full body stretch. So when you're in full body stretch mode, your ribs are probably lifted. Your hips might be really reaching away, maybe even tipping down. Your shoulders might be up to your ears. This is all okay in that full body stretch. But now that's over. So now we want to come back to our posture. Let's start by bending those knees. Shoulder blades back and down, pulling that tummy in. We're gonna round up our head in a C curve. So we lift up here, we reach those arms down, and we're just gonna hold this for a moment. So this is our 100 position. So anytime this gets too hard, or you start to feel it too much in your neck, you're gonna come down and keep your arms out, okay? So everyone down, take a moment to breathe. Inhale, exhale, round it up to your highest C curve, and now start patting water. Inhaling for 5 counts, and exhaling for 5 counts. Inhaling, and exhaling. In, and X. Notice I'm not bouncing my upper body, it's just my arms. In, and X. In, and X. Inhale, and X. In, and X. And X. Last time, inhale, and exhale, and release down. Awesome job. Go into that full body stretch. Good, bend these knees. And let's pull one knee, get a nice stretch through that hip, and we want to keep that knee pulling straight up to the shoulder so we're not crossing over. This other leg is going to shoot out where the ceiling and your wall meet. We're going to round back up to C-curve, and then we switch that position. Breathe. Inhale, exhale. Take a break, bring it down. Let these legs kind of just shift side to side, taking away any tension. And anytime during a movement series, if you need to take a break and just do this, or just take a break and rest, that's fine too. It's better to take a break and fix your form than continue with really sucky form. All right, so we are going to put your thumbs on your temples. You're gonna wrap the fingers all the way behind, so it should feel like a nice little cradle for your head. You're gonna round up that head, hold C-curve. Good. So you're trying to get to the top of your crunch here. And then from there, I'm gonna stay high, and I'm gonna twist, and I'm gonna twist. Staying high. Inhale, exhale. Add the legs only if you want to. If you are newer to this, do it without the legs. Because sometimes when you add the legs, what happens is you end up wiggling all over the place, and that means you're not ready. We're gonna breathe a little quicker, move a little quicker. We go. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. And take a break. Big full body stretch. Awesome job. Bend these knees in. We're gonna bring both knees in. Give them a hug. Ooh, that feels good, right? And then we're gonna release that hug, but we're gonna stay holding on to those knees, and we're gonna round up with our upper body, so we're holding on with our core right now. From here, I'm gonna open and close. If you are new to this movement, you can start by just letting that head down and just getting those arms and legs to flow. Okay, the challenge is more challenging to keep that head lifted the whole time. Notice my hips and ribs stay locked and loaded. Last time. And good, bring it down. Woo! All right, let's extend one leg to the floor. Let's extend that other leg up. So for tight hamstrings, you're probably gonna be like here, okay? I want you to try to round up your head and see if you can go up here on the calf and pull that way. If you're not able to, that's okay. We're gonna work on that. And then release down. Other side, leg up. Hold on to it wherever you can, and then take your body into that C-curve and hold that stretch. Good, and then bring it down. Both legs are gonna go up to the ceiling. Again, if you have tight hamstrings, you're probably gonna move more like this. If those hamstrings are more flexible, you can straighten them. We're gonna round up, hold on to that right leg, let the left leg drop. Now, you don't have to let it drop that far. You can keep this tiny. Exhale, inhale, exhale. And take a break. Good job. Hands are gonna come down to a low V out here. Relax your shoulders. We're gonna take your legs up into what we call a tabletop, which means your knees are bent at 90 degrees and the knees are right over your hips. See that line? You don't wanna be here, okay? I wanna have my hips right there. Now, everybody do this with their knees. Drop your knees up and down or move at your knee joint, okay? Now, hold it again at tabletop. Now, don't move your knees like that again, okay? The only movement that we can have is from the hip. So, inhale, Exhale. I'm not concerned about touching my toes. I'm concerned about keeping my lower abdominals nice and tight. Inhale, lower. Use that strong exhale. Pull from the abdominals to bring the legs back. Inhale. Slow exhale. So this is not a quick pace movement we're doing here. We're taking out the momentum. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, keep going. Watch it. If I go too far and I'm not ready, usually what happens is my back pops and my hips arch. That's no good. Okay, we don't want that. We only want to go as low as we can and keep the hips and the ribs locked and loaded. And that breath is super important. Especially on that exhale, you're driving that belly button in and you're flattening east to west. Last time. Awesome job. Let those legs shake side to side again. Good. All right, so we're going to extend those legs a little higher. So if you can, you go to those straight legs. Again, tight hamstrings might be preventing us from that, so maybe you're here. I want you to squeeze your legs as close as you can towards each other. And you should feel that engage your inner thighs. From there, keeping that inward squeeze, you're going to lower a tiny bit. Exhale in. Again, we want a tiny movement here. Inhale. Exhale. See how slow that is? Slowly, and I'm not going that far. I don't need to. Last time. Awesome job. Extend through those legs, extend through those arms. Big full body stretch. Good. Grab underneath these legs. We're going to roll it on up. Woo! Good. We're going to flip it around to all fours. Stretch out through that spine. So all fours means that your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips, and we're going to round it up. And that should feel really good into that cat stretch. And then you release all the way down, looking up. Pressing the shoulders away from the ears. And then round it up. Release down. And round it up. And release down. And round it on up. And release down. And I want you to find neutral spine, so that's right in the middle. Really strong through that core. Press back into child's pose now. Reach those arms out. And what I want you to do, once you're there, I want you to walk off of your mat and bring those hands off the mat and feel that stretch up the side of that one arm and back. And walk the hands off the other way. And then take it center. Good. Bring these hands underneath your shoulders and press up. And let's find a crisscross applesauce posture. Good. So find those two booty bones. Sit up nice and tall from the hips, the ribs, the shoulders, and the neck. Feel like you're growing longer and turn that head side to side. Check in with that body. See how you feel compared to the beginning. Chin down and up. Good, and take it center. Reach these arms out. Just a nice fluid motion, up and over. Good, close those eyes. Breathing deeply. Hold it to that one side. From here, you're gonna round through that back, sweep to the other side, and do that again. Good, and then bring that arm all the way up. Reach these arms back. Lean back into those arms a bit. Try not to round the shoulders. Try not to push out your hips too much. Just a nice long spine, pressing your shoulders and looking up. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, and then sitting up nice and tall. Taking these arms, lacing them, rounding through that back. Raising it up. And center, and taking just a few moments here to focus on that inhale and that exhale. I want you to count your breath, 4 to 5 counts in, and then exhale. And on the next breath, I want you to think of what you are grateful for today. And it might just be the fact that you're here doing this flow. And smile as you exhale. Open those eyes. Great big inhale. Raise up. Grab on to all that gratitude, all of those blessings, all of the positive energy. Pull it into your own heart. Save some for you, and then also share it wherever you go. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was Sweat You Flow Fusion, and I am Heather Godesco. Be sure to check out the others. Have a great day.